Hey everybody, so today I just flew in to the city of Kuching, which is a major city in the island of Borneo, and that's the island I'll be checking out this week. Borneo is one of the largest islands on Earth, and it's so big that it's actually split between three different countries. There's Malaysia, there's Brunei, and there's Indonesia, all on the same island. And so right now I'm in Malaysia, specifically in the state of Sarawak. I'm digging the street art here. So far we already have an LOL and a haha. Actually quite a few of them. I'm walking through the center of town, and they seem to have pretty good shade here. I appreciate it. Well, it is already almost 3 p.m., so I'm not going to do a whole lot today. I think my plan is just to check out more of this bizarre city, which I'm digging so far. I just remembered that I should look out for a pharmacy because I'll be going to the jungle soon, and I'll need some mosquito repellent in order not to die. So far, Malaysia seems like a very strange country. I just bought 2 different mosquito repellents. I was lazy for this trip and I didn't bring any, what are they called, malaria pills. So, to compensate for that risk, I went double on the mosquito repellent. So, hopefully that cancels out. I think that's how that math works. I have a bit of a dilemma. I have to find a grocery store sometime soon because I will get hungry if I don't find one. And if I wait too late, then it'll be night, and then the stray dogs will start to attack me. I'm standing on the balcony of my hotel, and that dude's been flying that big-ass kite for quite a while now. This is one of the many things you can see if you come to Malaysia. That dude's flying like a whole bunch of kites. My first impressions of Malaysia are generally positive. The people are nice here, and they sure like flying kites, and I consider that a good thing. I guess really the only complaint I have about it so far is that the sidewalks are very dangerous to walk on. They're very uneven, and sometimes they just disappear. So it is not a walkable country. Otherwise, it's nice. Thumbs up, Malaysia. Well, I had a good night of sleep, and today I am off to a nearby jungle. Maybe. We'll see how bad this rain gets. In the span of the last 20 minutes, the weather has gone from rainy to very rainy to completely fine. I checked the forecast, and it looks like that's just how the weather is here, so I'll risk it and go into the jungle anyway. I love Kuching. Me too. Looks like they offer regular cruises down this river. I might do that. I'll see how I'm feeling later. I'm waiting at this bus stop to try to find a taxi to get to the jungle that I want to go to today. And in the meantime, I went to 7-Eleven to get some water because there won't be any of that available in the jungle. There are 2 types of Asian countries, the ones that have 7-Elevens and the ones that don't. And Malaysia is one that has 7-Elevens. So I am here at Kuba National Park, and I took a bus here. I couldn't film much of it because the bus driver was blasting copyrightable emo music. So I got here, and it turns out that it is closed because of the rain. And I didn't even think that that would be a possibility. I didn't think that you could close a national park because of rain. So now I'm figuring out what to do. Luckily, not all hope is lost for this adventure. I was talking to the receptionist,
And she said that there's a Hindu temple a number of miles down the road that I can take a bus to, and then I can do some hiking there. It doesn't seem like it's as cool as the original plan, but I'll make do with it. Here is the bus stop, which I will be waiting around for up to half an hour. And as you can see, it's not raining anymore. This is what it's like to adventure in Borneo. I'm a little tempted just to walk to the temple. It's about 2 miles from here, although the road sucks, and if I leave now, I could just miss out on the bus. It's like that SpongeBob episode where he waits around for the bus. It has now been 40 minutes of waiting for the bus. I don't think you've had a real adventure unless you've waited for a bus for 40 minutes. I finally made it to the other trail, and so far it seems like a nice trail. It's easy to hike, and it's got beautiful views. I'm not going to tell the trail that it was my backup option. This is one of the temples that appear on this trail. Let's see what sort of biodiversity we have here. We have skinks. I've never heard of a skink before. We have giant millipedes. We have tractor millipedes. We have all sorts of millipedes here. This is the first time I've ever seen a waterfall whose water is being collected. If there's a waterfall near you, you should collect its water. That way you don't have to spend so much on water. I found a bench to rest on for a little bit. It's a fallen tree that's been repurposed as a bench, and it has to sit there as all its living friends look at its body. I should probably keep moving to find some shelter. It just got about 5 degrees cooler in 1 minute, and that means rain. This is exactly the type of hike through the jungles of Borneo that I was hoping to have, even though it's not the hike that I thought I was going to have this morning. It just goes to show that sometimes when plans fall through, it's for the best, and sometimes it's for the worse. Looks like there is a fork in the road, as well as another temple. I'm going to go with the path more taken. Well, I finally made it to the big temple. Seems like a long way to walk without shoes. In order to walk around this temple, I had to take off my shoes and my socks. So to anybody who's into farmer's tans, you're welcome. I'm at this fork in the road again. I started to walk up that path on the right, but I noticed that there were a ton of mosquitoes there, in part because of how much it's been raining. So instead, I'm going to go back to town, and I'm not going to get dengue fever today. If you look at a map of where there's still malaria risk, the 2 big areas are Central Africa and the Amazon, so right by the equator. But Borneo is also by the equator, which means that it also has a fair share of malaria risk. And it's fine if you're like in the city or even if you're in like a small town. But if you venture out into the jungle like this, you're kind of taking your chances here. That is the worst ad I've ever seen. Well, this is interesting. I just found some street art that is a work in progress. It's about halfway done. After that day of walking through the jungle, I slept quite well last night. I got maybe like 10 or 11 hours of sleep. And it is now already 10 a.m. and it is raining outside very heavily. So I think today is just going to be a lazy day where I don't do that much. I see that there's a cat museum in town. I'll probably check that out. Kuching markets itself as the city of cats, which I don't agree with. I think that Istanbul is the city of cats. Istanbul has so many cats. This place only has like a couple. You know what? That's how it should be spelled. Maybe this really is the city of cats. Kuching is the capital city of the state of Sarawak, which is the largest state within Malaysia. And over there you can see the flag for Sarawak. And I believe there's actually an independence movement for Sarawak to be its own country, apart from Malaysia. Well, I've made it to the Cat Museum. Time to check out the Cat Museum. The Cat Museum is on top of a very large hill, which you can see a cat from. I think I've come to the right place. They've got fish in the Cat Museum. I would hate to be a fish in the Cat Museum. This is exactly what I wanted from the Cat Museum. They've got an exhibit that has pictures of people hanging out with cats. Here is the mascot of the Kuching Festival. I refuse to believe that furries are a new thing. It turns out that cats are a lot like people. They play in rock bands, they play pool, and they serve alcohol.
I just found out that Kuching derives its name from the Malay word for cats, which is Kuching. And so when this town was founded, they were like, hey, this is a cat place. We're gonna call it Kuching. And that's where the name of the town comes from.
This is a great museum if you like cats. If you don't like cats, then I can't recommend it. Here is an exhibit for famous people who loved cats, and one of them was Isaac Newton. And it turns out that he was the one who invented the cat door. That's today's fun fact of the day. I'm waiting for a bus ride back to town, and this is the most I've ever been honked and waved at. I assume that they're friendly honks and waves. There were two women who saw that I was waiting for the bus, and so they offered me a ride. And so now here I am at the botanical garden. People here really are friendly as fuck. Some insect just stung my hand. Here, as you can see. It really fucking hurt. That sucked. I'm gonna Google to see how worried I should be. I didn't take a good look at the insect, so hopefully it wasn't anything too bad. After some quick Googling, it seems like it was either just a bee or like a fire ant. Either way, not much to worry about. Here is a historical fort called Fort Margarita. And then over there is a Hilton. There's a cat fighting with a lizard. Let's watch. the fight's over. I guess if you're an animal who's fighting with a cat, the only way you can really win is for the cat to get bored and move on to something else. Kuching is a city that's divided in two by the Sarawak River. And as you can see, there aren't really any bridges here, at least not for a while. And so people use these water taxis to get from one side to the other. I just ran into a group of small children who were playing soccer, and they were excited to come up to me and ask me questions, including where am I from, what's my favorite color, and whether I support Israel or Palestine. When I was talking with those kids, they kept doing the 6'7" meme at me. Kids really are the same everywhere. Well, I still have some time left in the day, so I'm gonna go ride on this river cruise.
Us and the of also be staff on board. So sit back, relax.
Today is now my last full day in Kuching before moving on to other parts of Borneo. And so for today, I'm going to go to Bako National Park, which is a nearby national park that requires riding on a boat to get to. It doesn't look like there's going to be a ton of rain today, so hopefully the place isn't closed. I took a bus to the village of Bako. Now it's time to find a boat that brings me to the national park of Bako. So the price for a boat ride to the park is about $60 in total, but that can be split between several different people. So I'm gonna wait around here for a little while to see if I can split it with anybody else. In the meantime, I'm hungry. I skipped breakfast to come here. Made it to Bako National Park. First thing I see, a whole bunch of monkeys. Ended up riding on the boat with another guy, so that saved a bit of money. Now I'm off to hopefully find some proboscis monkeys in the wild. There's a lot more climbing in these trails than I would have expected. The government here is very strict about visitors filling out all the right paperwork and registering before they go explore a national park, because they don't want some dumb tourist getting lost and they don't know where they are. So I had to fill out paperwork to tell them where I was going to be. Also, I saw a black snake earlier. I was about to put my hand right on this tree. This trail does not mess around. It's not like that paved trail that I hiked on the other day. That shit was for babies. This is for men. Or whatever I am. I don't know. This feels like some video game shit. Look at that. This is the view that you're rewarded with for hiking half a mile through the jungle. I think I might be at a dead end. That's the way I came from, and it's marked with those trail markings. And that way over there does not have any trail markings. And if you go over here, it doesn't look good. So this might be the turnaround point, and I'm gonna treat it as a turnaround point, just to be safe. I heard of a second trail that's a little easier, and it should have those proboscis monkeys if I'm lucky. I'm gonna do that next. In the visitor center, there are a bunch of signs warning people to keep the doors closed because there's so many monkeys around here, and the visitor center is always at war with the monkeys. And the best way to prevent monkeys is to have a closed door. So far, this trail is a lot easier. If you ever come here and you're deciding what trail to go on, and you want to go on the easier one, this is the one. I take back what I said about this being a very easy trail. I just almost slipped on a very large rock. That would have sucked. Some Australian old man just blew the fuck past me on this trail. Australians are built different. Well, time to go back. These guys are just chilling out. They seem like they're used to people. That's enough adventure for one day. Time to go back to the city and eat McDonald's. Here are Kuching's sister cities from around the world, all represented by cats. Oh, and this sister city is even called Cat. Well, that wraps it up for this video, but stay tuned for the next one, where I'll be somewhere else in Borneo. Until next time, try not to get hit by a car. Alright, see ya.